Hello and welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andrej.
My name is Patrick. Coming at you live, Metropole Grid.
Thanks for joining
Don't
us,
touch that dial.
Welcome. This is round 2, game 2 of BD Cosmos. This is the first winter kit of 2015.
That's right.
And
That
the last
sweet day job playmat.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
some ice walls. This is also the last winter kit of 2015, considering the date.
That's right. December 19th, the first and last.
So this is before the most wanted list was announced.
You know, we actually can't complain because winter only starts December 21st.
That's true. Does it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
On the left, we have Julien, and Julien is playing Adam. This is the first time we've seen Adam on this channel.
This is a really cool matchup.
Yeah.
I love Haarpsichord and I love Adam. And yeah, we haven't seen Adam yet.
No, so we've had a league that was going on at Randolph Pub for like 4 or 5 weeks.
It was 3
really
weeks.
Fun. 3 weeks, really?
I told you I'll do numbers. It was 3 weeks.
But Julien was playing Adam for probably all of it and had some pretty good matchups.
Yeah.
And so this is the first time that he was able to bring this out to some sort of semi-competitive field.
Well, I mean, it's a store championship. No,
It's not.
it
It's not.
isn't.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
right.
I don't think he actually
Semi-competitive.
brought Adam out to the first store championship.
So Adam, he's my favorite runner out of Data and Destiny.
Yeah.
Maybe not to play, but just to think about.
Yeah.
He has, so of course, Adam, you start the game with 3 of his directives installed.
Yes.
Directives are things that give you tremendous advantages with maybe disadvantages.
Totally. I think they start. Okay, there's nothing I can say definitively about them. They all have advantages and they all have disadvantages, and how advantageous and disadvantageous
I mean,
they
safety
are.
first is the only one that has it's really disadvantageous to have a lower hand size.
Yes, but you can build your deck around it.
Sure.
So I think the power of these cards changes drastically through the game. So turn 1, being able to access 2 cards from hand and not being able to be stopped by any single sub ice is awesome. However, having to trash things like a marked accounts from hand turn 1
and having to
sucks.
always spend a click to run every turn, that's kind of iffy.
Yes.
If you don't feel like running.
So there's a lot of really smart deck building things you can do to get around a lot of these things.
Yeah, Dirty Laundry is, of course, a must include.
The interesting thing about Adam is that out of all the neutral identities, the mini factions in the Data and Destiny, he did not bring his own breaker suite besides that directive. So it's going to be interesting to see what Julien has to deal with ice.
You don't know what breakers you're going to see.
Yes. On the right side, John is playing Haarpsichord. This is Convenience Shop in its finest form, I suppose. Sure. This is probably 3 Scorch, 3 Breaking News, 3 24/7, 3 Traffic Accident.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Get those kills out. Looks like we're going to poke HQ, and Data Raven is pretty good against Adam. You can break that Trace 3 by just clicking through it, but you do not.
No, he's not. He's going for a Lucky Find.
Yeah. So that's the problem, is you will access 2 cards from hand with a tag, so things like the Quantum Kitty are going to fire for the Corp side.
Yeah.
And you do not want that if the Corp is having something like 24/7
No, you
news
don't.
cycle.
But I think Dorm Computer is a maybe include for Adam.
Yeah, easily could be.
Because you can use the must be running click with Dorm Computer.
Yeah. Let's throw Jackson Howard out there, and you want to draw up.
Yeah.
You don't want to have that many agendas in hand.
Well, he'll access 2 cards, but one of them won't.
Oh yeah, Haarpsichord, huh?
Yeah, Haarpsichord.
So if you have agendas with on-access abilities, if they can hit those second, that's pretty ideal.
If they can hit 2 Explodapaloozas,
that's
all right, have
okay.
a couple points.
Yeah, 10 credits is not too bad at all.
No.
But it looks like we're going to draw up and discard, and this is the thing I hate against Haarpsichord, and we'll see what Julien does. Do you run Archives or do you run Jackson? I run Jackson.
Okay.
I'm so scared of a news team.
I play Haarpsichord, and I don't know how to play against Haarpsichord.
Because, okay, you do have to trash the Jackson if the Corp does not use them. But if you run Archives, you're going to probably find some news teams, considering that's probably the best place to put them.
Yeah.
And that will take you down to negative agenda points, which is something that particularly is poor with Adam's console, the brain chip.
Sure.
It would, if you install that, you actually get negative MU and negative hand size.
Okay, looks like he's running...
So, no, actually, it looks like he is checking Archives.
Okay.
Let's see if that pays off.
Interesting thematically that the news teams do work better in Archives. Is that like a reporter who's on the edge with his boss and he's like trying to find something really interesting to get him back into the good graces?
Yeah, no idea. I think it's more about surprising the runner. They send a news team after you. And you know what? That's
a couple of news teams.
the double news team.
Going down to -2 points against Haarpsichord is the worst.
Yeah, so now we're going to need 9 agenda points to win the game.
You wouldn't have expected him to have 2 news teams in those first 10 cards.
2 is unlikely. That does make, I guess the only good thing I could say is that they're out of the game now.
Yay! Positive Andre's back.
Yeah.
I love Positive Andre.
And hey, you know
Hunting
what?
grounds.
That is the perfect answer for Data Raven. Data Raven no longer does anything.
That's right. That's really cool.
Hunting grounds will stop bypass effects, which is particularly nasty in NBN.
Profiteering. John, what are you doing, you madman?
So profiteering off the top. That probably means that there is no NAPD in the deck. Another Axis is a double Data Raven. So
Wouldn't
actually,
have run again.
yeah, you know what? I think Julien might not realize the Haarpsichord.
Certainly,
thing.
it's easy to forget.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to forget.
You do have to play differently about that.
I like the include of hunting grounds because that does suggest to me the original way these the mini factions were built is that I think they were originally all neutral, and they were all freely using each other's cards.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's built into their IDs. Like you see, each of them have IDs that specifically work with the cards that are for them.
Yeah, totally.
Like Apex, his Apex cards work way better with him than anyone else.
Oh, of course.
And Adam, of course, the directives work way better with him than anyone else. And,
Sure.
And Sunny's breakers too.
But
I think that they were meant to be able to share them amongst each other.
I think Apex is okay with some of the directives. They're virtual.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they can trade cards with each other very easily.
Looks like, so John did score the breaking news, so it looks like 24/7 is a reality.
Yeah.
Stealing the Quantum Kitty
satisfying.
Is going to pull him back up to 0 agenda points and the Scorched hand.
Makes you feel okay about those news teams, but he knows the Scorch is there. He knows he's playing a runner with a lowered hand size.
Right, so now with only a hand size of 3, that is going to be a problem. That brain chip is not going to do any work right now.
I was about to ask, if he'd only had the news teams out and he had a brain chip, would
Negative MBO.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And negative hand size. Oh, God.
I wonder if you can kill yourself.
Yes, you can.
Oh, you can.
GQs and news teams.
Oh, you can kill yourself.
I'm in love.
That's amazing.
I'm in love with this never going to happen game loss that you'd have to do to yourself.
Yeah. I guess you could be surprised by them. Looks like we can run HQ now. The hunting ground is going to bypass the on and counter effect, which is really good against NBN. He dodges pop-up windows to toe boost the Ravens. 2 cards from hand. Sweep Sweep is really rough against Adam at the beginning, but late game when he has a massive hand size.
Oh boy.
Yeah, really good. And a
because
plastic.
Adam is watching all the TV.
Oh, at that point he becomes.
Our target demo is Adam. Right now.
We have a Plascrete Carapace out there, so now we're a bit safer. With the Plascrete in a full hand, that is only 7, so double Scorch still is a problem. So hand size boosts would be pretty good at this point.
Yep.
You'll notice, so if you haven't played Adam, he has a real cool tempo to his turn. It's almost always run turn 1, click 1.
Yep.
If you want to click through something, Data Raven, double Data Raven, pretty good.
Yeah, that hunting grounds can't do.
It's only one,
like
one per turn. Gutenberg?
The Goot.
Goot? I think you click that, right? You'd Bioroid smash through that.
Click, or 2 credits and a click.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to do click. I guess it's only single axis there, so that's a wraparound. Wraparound, not so good against always be running.
I like that Adam, he's the only runner I know who has a definite story to the games you play with him. Like, he's either he's either discovering that he's a free Bioroid, he shreds his chains and becomes this unpredictable force of nature, or he learns to take advantage of the restrictions that are placed on him to make something more than himself.
It is so much fun.
It's really
the clear progression is fantastic. You can feel the different phases of the game. Now we've entered mid-game. At this point, I'm going to choose to adapt and become more quote-unquote human.
Yeah.
Like all the other runners.
He has a character. He's got a freaking character.
Absolutely awesome. I'm so excited for more cards to come out that make him even better and even better.
Yeah.
At this point, it looks like we are going to just spend a click running just archives. I guess you have to run at this point. So yeah, as I was saying, the normal... how a lot of turns goes is run, click, and then you want to install a card from hand just so that you can use that
take
that
advantage
free draw.
of the safety first, free draw.
Yeah, as much as possible you want that to fire, so you almost always want to end your turn with less cards in hand than max.
Yeah.
E3 feedback implants, super good in both Adam and Apex. That lets you get through multi-sub ice now with the always be running directive. Will cost some money, but at the end of the day, I don't think you want a lot of money when accessing accessing remote servers.
True.
In case you hit something awful and you have to trash it, and that puts you behind. That's also why things like Armitage code busting are so good. It lets you have money on demand, but not have money in cases where you're multi-accessing.
I do like Armitage, even if I don't have to include it, like with Adam.
Yeah.
Because Adam, having to rely on neutral economy, he probably has to include Armitage.
Yeah, I think you might. Yeah. I think also, what's it called? Those Ghost Runner credits are pretty good. It lets you, I think, technically you have to use them when you access something. I think it might be the same ruling as Toll Booth, where Toll Booth actually will drain your Ghost Runner credits.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I thought it was the other way.
I'm not entirely sure about the Adam interaction, but I know for sure that's how Ghost Runner works with Toll Booth.
The one thing I like about the mini faction runners for sure is that they almost all include infiltration because they're desperate for cards.
I don't think you have to.
No, but it makes you use infiltration sometimes. That's crazy.
Yeah. Infiltration is fine. Adam is going to have the problem where I think you might like things like Easy Mark over Sure Gamble, because a lot of times you will be at 0 credits.
Yeah.
If you have to trash like turn 1 marked accounts or a pad campaign.
True.
So having things like infiltration might just be the kickstart of the economy that you need.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes some weird neutral cards get in the deck. I know I just lost a really fun Apex game to you where you had the one of blackmail for no reason.
No reason.
Deck.
I just needed a neutral card. I'm like, I guess blackmail.
And it totally won the game.
That was a great moment.
Deck. Yeah, man, one of, I guess. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you could have things like Kraken too. I think if you
I
run...
put Kraken in that deck too.
Yeah, I guess because you could run click through something like the Data Raven, access an agenda, Kraken the piece of ice there is. Seems okay. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. So now there's a lot of money coming in. It's still only 0 agenda points, and any turn in which you're not stealing an agenda against Haarpsichord is... you really want to.
You need to be running a lot against Haarpsichord.
Yes, at least...
But Haarpsichord can also threaten to kill really well.
Yeah. Oh, that's another Data Raven.
Okay, and he knows what that card beyond it is, too.
Yeah, so that's a wrap behind it, the wraparound. So if we want to click through that, we're not going to be able to get through the wraparound. However, John will have to res that, taking him down to 2 credits.
And he probably wants that counter on the Data Raven.
Yeah, you could trace through it. Like, I think Julien could beat it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, too, is I don't know how terrified. I've never played an Adam game in which I've lost my directives, and I don't know if that's liberating or that's horrible. And I think it might be horrible
that's
if
the
you
story,
build your
isn't
deck
it?
around
That's
it.
what they're going to make you think of.
Oh, now you're free, but looks like we're going to keep going.
These arms were holding me back the whole time. It's like Homer stuck in a vending machine.
I think we're going to use Hunting Grounds on that. Oh, actually, probably reconsider. Yeah. There's a Sai in hand and a Maker's Eye. I think multi-access runs are awesome in Adam, especially Maker's Eye.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because so much of Adam is getting an agenda in the first 3 turns just so that things like your brain chips start working.
Yeah.
So Maker's Eye turn 1, click through whatever.
There it is.
Ice. And Maker's Eye click 2 is fine. We're going to click through the Gutenberg.
That feels good.
Get the kitty off the top. See 2 more cards. We got a hedge fund and a
No,
breaking
you
news.
put that back, Julien.
And Julien is going to have to put that back.
Yep.
I think this is the first time where he realizes this is Haarpsichord. Oh, crap, I've been playing wrong.
Yeah, I've been there too. The last time I played against John's deck, I did it too. And again, I'm a Haarpsichord player. I'm Patrick Haarpsichord Sklar.
That's totally different. So he now knows where that breaking news is.
That's interesting.
It's currently on the top of R&D. So John has the option of scoring if that's an agenda in the server, or trying to
drawing.
Save that.
Yeah, because Julien knows it too, and
yeah,
and
that is a free point. By the way, Brain Chip is now good, so Julien's card draw engine is starting.
Yep, he has
hand size of 4.
Hand size of 4. Look at you, Adam.
So John did draw the breaking news. That is the route he went. So breaking news, take a credit.
I want to imagine Dr. Lovegood like screwing on a pinky onto Adam's 3-fingered hand. there you go, kid.
Does he have 3 fingers?
Well, he starts with 3-card hand.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, things just get bigger and bigger.
This is why people love Metropole Grid. the witty repartee.
Oh. So, run, click is going to see the traffic accident. I think Julien did not realize that card was drawn to him.
Oh.
So much emotion in that hand.
Yeah, that's right. He reached for it.
Yeah, that's real rough. So, we know where that is. And that's 3 clicks dead. I guess he had to run anyway. It's only 2 clicks dead. And we're just going to take some money on Armitage, get some card draw.
Sure.
We can't contest HQ without actually worrying about those traces, so that's not something you want to do right now. Advance on that card, and that is Jackson Howard, which...
What just happened?
You can't do that.
You cannot do that.
Oops. So I guess...
Well, we all make mistakes, folks.
Yeah, I guess we're going to trade mistakes across the table, so we're even now.
Mm-hmm.
That's awkward. I guess you rest Jackson at that point.
You might as well, really.
Yeah. So I think now we know that there's probably something like an Astra script or profiteering in John's hand.
That's a good point.
They've
given each other some really interesting information.
Yeah.
Totally Paxton. That's really funny.
So probably 2 agendas in hand, breaking news and something else.
Let's score the breaking news.
Yeah, score the breaking news. 24/7 news cycle is on. NAPD are now on the chase of a Bioroid.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I mean, really, it's the news hounds.
Sorry?
It's the reporters who are going there and then they're going to blow up the apartment. They're like, breaking news, we know where you are.
Yeah.
It's not the NAPD who are finding them.
No, it's true, but the NAPD are on the chase. I think that might be the news.
I do love the flavor interaction between breaking news and traffic accident. I think it's
Oh,
the
so
same.
good.
It's kind of the same cars.
Yeah.
You're led to believe.
Yeah. Data Sucker is a sweet card in Atom. If you're going to be running on archives for no reason, might as well get those Data Sucker tokens.
Yep.
Which will help you with your icebreakers. Still not sure what the breaker suite looks like.
That's a great point. Data Sucker is a great card for Atom.
Yeah, you're going to be running anyways. Usually serve centrals, considering that HQ pressure is nuts. And the public love them. We are now up to a hand size of 6.
That's right.
And a Plascrete, so you know what? 24/7 news cycle is going to get rough.
He's surpassed his human creators.
Yeah, he is now something greater than human. But with that problem comes the sweeps week. You can sell a lot of stuff to a man with so many.
Well, he hasn't seen advertisements before, so he's just buying everything.
Yeah.
They're saying, like, buy now. And he said, I guess I'll have to buy now.
I guess we should buy
He's
now.
got no choice.
So if there's an Astro still in hand, that might be worth getting. We still don't have a breaker to deal with those Data Ravens.
Yeah, that's
and
unfortunate.
Money is becoming a thing. I don't know.
At least Julien knows there's probably, like, he's seen 2 quantum predictive models.
That's good.
He can probably risk getting tagged mid-run now.
You know what? I think you're right. He probably could spend 2 credits to remove a tag. I haven't played a lot of Convenience Shop myself. Do they run one mid? Yeah, they probably run 2 mid-seasons.
Probably in mid-seasons,
I think one
especially
or two.
Haarpsichord. I think it's stronger in Haarpsichord than it would be in most others.
Yeah, I suppose you have a lot more opportunities to run to fire it just
Yep.
off the basis of the
Absolutely.
You need so many turns to win the game.
I do love the flavor of... I mean, I don't know how this game will end, but if Adam gets killed by traffic accidents, that's funny because I think in the flavor he is a crash test dummy.
Oh wait, what?
No, not really. but maybe.
Robot dies
I'm
in
sure
crash.
HB makes crash test dummies that feel pain. That seems like their thing.
Dr. Lovegood is hitting the table, and what a cool card.
You look tore up, kid.
Especially in Atom. Now there is a man in a repair shop who is able to make you become slightly more human. I don't know what human means at this point,
yeah.
but those directives you can turn off and on a turn-by-turn basis. If this turn you don't want to run, you don't have to run.
Yeah. Dr. Lovegood is played by Oliver Platt in the Atom biopic, known as Bicentennial Man, actually.
And the name is also, I really like Lovegood, something that the robots might have a problem with. So
That's
something
true. What
on,
am love? Am Adam love?
We have an ice on archives, so the Data Sucker tokens are going to come in for free, but that's fine considering Lovegood is on the table and can turn off, always be running if we want.
Am Adam Lovegood?
There's also, it's worth, whether or not in Atom or outside of Atom, other cards that work really well with Lovegood. You have things like Drug Dealer.
That's true.
You don't have to pay the credit for Drug Dealer. Not so bad. You could go.
That's right. The Source.
The Source, New Angels City Hall.
Oh, yeah.
Donut to Gaines. I don't know how to say that card.
I don't know how to say that. Donut to
Gaines?
Gaines. No, it's definitely not to Gaines. That would be too easy.
But Donut also you can turn off on your turn and not pay the extra tax. Now all those cards, just about besides City Hall, cost influence.
Yeah.
Which
I wish Donut was a better card. Like if that cost
yeah.
1 less influence, I would play
It's
that.
2
in a lot of fun.
influence?
Yeah, it's 2 influence.
That's rough.
And 3 credits.
Oh, that's rough.
Yep.
Yeah, so a lot of these cards, I don't know, I've always found influence neutral cards don't make it into a lot of people's decks, besides, of course, Lucky Find. Which,
Of course, they need to be in very specific decks. That's the point of them.
yeah, I suppose, but like, just imagine it's a criminal card and you're playing Shaper. Would you pay 2 influence for it? Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
If you're playing Magnum Opus as your only economy, who knows? But anyways, yes, Dr. Lovegood, great card.
John is putting something into that server and not actually opting to use the Jackson, just throwing him to that bin. What does that mean? Not sure. Maybe another Jackson in hand?
It could be.
I don't know why you wouldn't use them. I can't think of a better reason. So the first turn of Lovegood on the table, let's see if we're going to use them. And you know what? We're going to go hit the shop and do some modifications. We don't have to run this turn.
To break the budget on the special effects, there are some sparks flying.
We got sparks on that one. And you know what? Hey.
Of course, Dr. Lovegood will make the sparks fly.
Yeah. Julien did draw another hunting ground.
Ooh.
Double Data Raven doesn't seem so secure anymore.
He might be getting into HQ sometime soon.
Yeah, and that's the thing is so much HQ pressure is from Atom, and Double Data Raven, if we didn't have Hunting Ground, that's a really, really strong answer.
It's taxing.
That is incredibly taxing no matter what. But you want to use that HQ ability as much as possible.
Yeah, you do.
I also think Julien just drew a Faust, which might be his breaker. I'm in with that. Faust Data Sucker is good.
Yeah, it's too bad he has so many resources, because now would be a good time to also go
Tag me. Yeah, it's really hard on Adam. Double Hunting Ground. Also, Hunting Ground does have the ability to install the top 3 cards of your deck
face down,
which could be useful if there's an Endless Hunger in here.
Yep.
Which you could do with all that MU.
Which
also,
you could do.
Pawn Shop?
Pawn Shop and
sell those directives.
Yep.
Sell those cards.
Another breaking news.
Third breaking news on the table.
24/7. No. What I love about the 24/7 combo with breaking news is that the tags don't go away if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So you're still stuck with tags.
Yeah, you're paying no credits to give them 2 tags. You're sacrificing an agenda. And with those many breaking news, if we can score another agenda, you can fire 24/7 twice, 3 times even.
Yep. All right, always be running again, shut down.
We're back in the shop.
Yep.
Not running this turn. Looks like we're going to set up a bit. Faust is on the table.
There's Faust.
So with Data Suckers, with Faust, with all that card draw, we are going to be able to run HQ now.
Now, Adam making a deal with a demonic AI.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I would write that short story.
That's a decent short story, I'd say.
I bet Dr. Lovegood introduced them.
We now also have an interesting problem when it comes to Faust, because this deck is trying to kill you, and cards in hand are the way you don't die.
That is a good point.
And even with this massive hand size, you want to be a bit liberal. Let us infiltrate. I think those are our security force.
Okay.
Did he install over Jackson to install Jackson?
No, he installed over News Team. I think he'd installed and.
No, I think he installed over Jackson. Because he trashed the Jackson and put a new thing in there. I think it was a double Jackson.
Right. Yeah, sorry.
That's an interesting line of play. I like that. If Adam was going to access that, he would have to put himself into...
Yeah, that is a great line of play.
Yeah, he'd have to trash it.
Definitely something I would try.
If C-Source is on the table, that could be pretty good. You could land the easy C-Source and then trash some of those directives that are necessary, especially always be running.
For sure.
I don't know if you include multiple copies of directives in the deck. I think some decks easily could. We have a 15 minutes on the table. 4 agenda points, all 1-pointers, all the good old-fashioned score from hand.
Yeah, now 15 minutes as Haarpsichord, I'm not even sure I would usually fire... Like, I'm not sure if I would score that.
I think it's good to put on your 24/7 cycle.
Yeah, that is true, but he has fuel for that already.
That's true.
I just think 15 minutes is really fun in Haarpsichord.
For them to steal?
For them to steal first, it's just so mean.
That's true.
So I might just put it down as a trap or put it in archives or something.
We're already at 4 points, though. If you can score an Astro, you basically have the game in the bag if R&D
totally right.
pressure can't be too good. So, yeah, I think either way.
Yeah, I think that John might have given up on the kill route.
He might have. It's going to be very difficult.
I'm not sure if he's trashed any of his killing cards yet.
Yeah. Let's poke HQ. This is a good time. We've only been scoring 1-pointers from hand, and there's no doubt 2-pointers in this deck.
Yeah, so he's negating both the on-end counter effects, and he's using Faust to break through one of them, using Always Be Running to break through the other.
Yep. Gaining some Data Sucker tokens.
That'll be good with Faust.
2 cards from hand. And you know what? Hey,
That's
there's
good.
the signed Aster script. I think Benoit signed that. And traffic accident. So...
There's a funny story behind Benoit signing that. And John will tell it, not me. It's John's story. I barely remember it.
Yeah.
I remember laughing.
Yeah, I don't remember it too well either. But that's okay. Another time, I suppose.
Yep.
1 click left. So now HQ is no longer safe, and John is going to have to play against that to some extent. Another Maker's Eye would be brilliant, and there is another Maker's Eye in hand. At any point in time, we could see 3 cards off the top of the deck. Seeing 3 cards, again, is iffy against Haarpsichord if you see a couple on Axis effects and can only take one of them. But
we haven't really seen many. I'm sure he has Explodapalooza.
Probably does, right?
But that might be the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be the only one easily. I don't think people like award bait as much as you and I do, Patrick.
No.
It's a shame. But it's a different deck. Convenience Shop has no point having award bait. I'll
Speaking of which, those Oscars noms, right?
Yeah, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I have no idea. All right, so we're entering an interesting part of the game. I don't know if the kill option... as the game continues, the kill option gets less tenable.
Right, because Adam is just getting stronger and stronger.
Hand size has just gone up. Hand size is now...
He does have a Plat Screed out there, too.
Yeah, 8 hand size, 1 Plat Screed.
But the Faust is going to run things down.
Faust is going to run things down.
And maybe he doesn't have a levy or ways to get things back.
This doesn't have the card draw engine that something like Wildside or Max does. So only 1 card a turn is going to mean that I don't think he needs a levy. Like, the deck will last another...
True, if he's careful and sparing with his Faust use, if he's going for multi-access.
Because Faust, I think he's only Fausting 1 piece of ice a turn.
Yeah.
Because you can always be running through something.
And the data sucker is going to help with lots of
Yeah,
things.
so in theory, you're only paying one card per subroutine. Also, E3 feedback implants. So multi-subs
that's totally
thing.
true, yeah.
This honestly shouldn't be that big of a drain.
You're totally right. He's got a lot of ways to get through things. Wraparound would be frustrating.
You would always be running through it.
Yeah, that's true. You always spend those clicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like we haven't had a mid-seasons yet. We haven't seen one off R&D or HQ. Nothing is fired yet, so it looks like we're okay for a point. Julien still needs 4 more agenda points.
Yep.
And this is actually like...
Maybe John is a bit worried about Film Critic.
Yeah.
His Film Critic, when I encountered Film Critic as Haarpsichord, it made me not want to play Haarpsichord anymore.
Yeah.
And then having another dead card in your deck, I think that's a bit rough.
We're going to faceplant into the wraparound and just walk away. There are some cards in archives. Whether or not you want to spend 2 clicks just to pop a Jackson, maybe find a new news team. Who knows?
I'm sure there's a new news team in there.
Some free card draw. We have Lucky Finds in this deck. That's actually pretty good money that John didn't expect. I don't think Convenience Shop has that much cash to boot. So landing the midseason is not going to get easier as we find those other 2 quality times. Lucky Finds. I always mix those up. If there are 2 more in the
it's not our fault, it's their fault.
Yeah, right?
Hey, Lucas, what's up?
Jackson's going to be popped, putting that other Jackson that we didn't trash, and 2 more cards in there. This seems, I think, Adam's in a good spot.
Oh, he is in a good spot. He's got most things that he wants.
Yeah. This is quite a showing for Adam. There is a Shadow Remains in hand.
That's pretty great.
So Shadow Remains is absolutely brutal if you can score an Astro token, because you can dump a token on there.
And they have to
when they commit to accessing.
They say I'm making this run successful. Then you put the token on it,
and then they access it.
Then they have to access it. Boom.
And then suddenly your plastic grid armors are destroyed.
And your brain chip's down for sure.
Things are. Oh yeah, brain chip also. That's gonna be in a really bad spot.
Still have public sympathy, which just makes him a regular runner.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
more flavor.
Install Advance on that server, that could easily be the Shadow Remains. Install Advance doesn't make a lot of sense in Haarpsichord otherwise. We know all the breaking news are scored, so we're not worried about that.
Right.
It's not an NAPD. I don't think we've seen at least one.
NAPD is it would be a weird choice.
We've seen Profiteering. So if you want to go to the bad pub route, that's an unscorable agenda, basically. Easily could be a Beal. I guess, but still, single advance Beal doesn't make a lot of sense. Double advance Beal is pretty good, though.
Yeah. Maybe he just wants some tempo on his next turn.
Yeah, that's true. Could be some tempo. Looks like we're going to Maker's Eye.
The double Goot.
The double Goot, you know what? With 2 Data Sucker tokens, Gutenberg is not looking that hot. It is 6 strength, so that's only 2 cards, and 2 clicks with Always Be Running. That's totally reasonable. That's something you can do, right?
I mean, wait, you're saying with Faust?
Yeah.
No, don't use Faust on those.
Why not?
Well, they're 6 strength. That's
with Data Sucker. That's 2 cards. That's fine. I think you can do it. You could also just take the tag.
I would just take the tags at this point. I think that.
Yeah, it depends. There's still 1 more kitty cat somewhere, and you don't want to give that, considering if you give 5 points and then that agenda there could win the game.
That is a good point. Okay, so I guess he is Fausting.
It looks like we are Fausting.
And always being running.
I don't even think he took the Data Suckers. We don't know. Let's see 3 cards to the top. That's a news cycle, an accident, and a closed account.
That's too bad.
Absolutely no surprises there.
Nope.
Closed account's not that good with an Armitage.
That's a good point. Although if they're tagged, trash the Armitage too.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to trash everything at that point. But I guess things like the All-Seeing Eye are probably the nightmare of Adam.
Oh boy.
1 click, 1 credit to remove anything that made this runner interesting.
Yeah.
And turned him into a 25 influence, neutral, no ability. Seems kind of rough.
Yeah, well, that's why you include extra copies of the directives in your deck. Nope, sorry guys, that was
okay.
That was silly, Patrick.
Abstractly from a distance, what it'll look like is that you start with the 3 directives and you'd add extra copies to your deck, and then you could either independent thinking them away in the mid game when they're not that useful if you determine that,
bring them back in the late game,
or pawn shop them and then bring them back.
Pawn shop's great.
Seems okay.
I'm gonna pawn shop my thoughts.
Yeah, that makes very little sense.
The very essence of my soul. I mean, that sounds like something like a Needful Things kind of shop would do.
We have another piece of armor on the table, so now we are going through 2 Plascretes.
Okay.
And a heck of a lot of cards.
Okay, John has to trash. Like, he can't.
The kill option is not going to come through a single turn. It is going to come through multiple turns.
Unless that is a Shattered Remains and he gets Adam to run it.
And you know what? I think that's just 3 credits. That looks like it might. Oh, credit card advance.
Cool.
Okay, that is suspicious. I'll just say
John,
it.
I love you though.
That could be the winning Beal. That could be a Shattered Remains now through
The winning Beal, that would be good.
Beal or no Beal. Looks like we forgot the data sucker tokens.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know Maker's Eye didn't work, so we know the next 2 cards on R&D are fine. HQ could have an agenda in it.
That's true. HQ could have an agenda.
Could. Archives also easily could, but Jackson was popped, shuffled 2 face down, so not looking that good.
And yeah, I would be certain there's a news team in there anyway, and you don't want to see that.
No, you don't. That puts you back just a bit.
Yeah.
I
mean, maybe just grab more money. Maybe
yeah, I think you
set
just
yourself
hunker
up for
down,
later.
as fun as that isn't, but it looks like actually we're going to go for HQ.
Yeah.
2 Hunting Grounds doing so much work in this matchup. We haven't hit pop-up or toll booth, but did Raven is just enough. It's only 1 card and 2 data sucker tokens. Sai looks like not necessary.
Cyber is a very fun include.
If we hit something like an Archangel, that also could be bad. You return a Plastic to hand, but we do have the time to reinstall it.
Yep.
So we're going to see all the kill pieces in hand. We know there's a 24/7 in there. We've seen a lot of meat damage cards, and you know what? John isn't giving up on this. He is not throwing those out. A lot of the times I decide to...
That's a good point. He's
discard.
keeping them in there.
So he might actually have something here. He might have a way to deal with this. It might just be the Shattered Remains on that table.
Or reversed accounts.
Yeah, reverses counts as something, I
That'd be
guess.
silly.
Ghost Branch. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Ronin.
Yeah, that's a lot of influence.
Those are
It's
Ronin
like
and
4.
Contract Dealer are 4 influence
Yeah,
each.
and rightfully
Which is
so.
good. No, that's totally fair.
Yeah. But we're both both Runner and Corp are in a really interesting spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think the Corp has any option besides winning on agenda points at this point.
Yeah, and I feel like Adam has R&D on lock.
Yeah.
So-
Also worth noting, Adam has infiltrations. He's played 2 already. There may be another. Bluffing agenda seems really difficult.
That's a good point. Infiltration. There we go.
But you know what? Hey,
Oh God, no!
looks like we're gonna print the news. 24/7 news cycle is gonna forfeit
Your 15 minutes are up.
for breaking news. So 2 tanks are coming up on the table.
That was a really good event, by the way. A special effect.
Oh,
I like the
thanks.
15 minutes turned into the. Good
Oh
for you.
yeah,
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Good.
thanks. Yeah, great.
Andre does all the editing. I just want everyone to know, in case anyone thinks I have anything to do with this.
Scorcher is gonna hit, and it looks like we're gonna opt not to use the plastic crates. 4 cards burned up.
Okay.
That is a bit of a window, considering we need cards for breakers. Traffic accident. We're gonna spread that across 2 plastic crates.
That's the way to do it. Love
yeah,
that.
I think that's the way to do it. Each are gonna get a bit dinged. Still pretty good. Still 6 agenda points. I mean, sorry, 6 armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Hearthstone we're playing. So I have no doubt that card in there is not an agenda, based off of the fact that the game isn't over.
Right.
We're gonna walk into the shop, get rid of those. Turn off, always be running. So what's really interesting is that John didn't just opt to trash the directives. He
That's-
could have done it.
That's an interesting point. He could have trashed a lot of
Could have
interesting
trashed the
stuff.
directives,
And
and
I
the game
don't think
would've
they
been totally
realize.
different.
I don't think they realize that breaking news leaves the tags off.
Oh no, they did. They cleared tag.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Click 1.
Sorry.
They
Yeah, I
click
missed
1
that.
and 2. He cleared the tags and then drew 2 cards.
I think I was trying to think of a Hearthstone joke at the time. I will destroy you, etc.
John taking 3 credits. It looks like we're gonna play this game of attrition. Worth noting is that this is nearing time. We only probably have about 5 minutes left. The first game was about 35 minutes. This game can only, I think, we have 70
Yeah, we're doing
minutes.
70-minute rounds here.
I think that's now what technically what the rules say. We're gonna go hit HQ. We're gonna see 2 cards. Now I think we know what most of those cards are based off that
Wow.
we've seen a lot off the top of R&D.
Yep.
But Scorcher Traffic Accident is there. If we hit another breaking news, we could fire that combo
I'm
off.
really surprised that he tried. I guess he was just. I don't know why he tried the 24/7 thing.
I think you have to.
Because you think it's the only way to get cards away.
So
and-
you got 4
yeah.
cards down and 2 cards off of two things
two
off of the
counters
plastic.
off of plastic crates.
There's probably no levy in this deck. Well, there could be, but maybe
Sure.
there's not. You need breakers for Faust. You slow down
yeah,
tempo,
it
clearing.
slows down Faust. That's a good
You have to
point.
clear tags. Like maybe there was a Maker's Eye in hand you want to get rid of, a legwork, something like that.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe, yeah, you never know.
Trashing cards from hands isn't. It does open a tempo window.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess it was a calculated decision.
Yeah.
John said, "This is worth my turn."
I think John is not convinced that he can win off of agenda points. We're gonna go through HQ again. That I don't. What's the name of that one where you have to access the directive. They access 2 cards. Oh, but we've hit time.
Is that neutralize all threats?
Yeah. So that's been paying off. But we've hit time. So it is currently Julien's turn. It is 3-4. I'm not convinced that's an agenda in the deck, but if Julien cannot... Oh, it's 3-3. Sorry. Excuse me.
That's true.
If Julien can not get an agenda, we tie.
Right.
I don't think there's no more 2-1s, right?
I don't think so.
So I don't know what you do at this point. Looks like Julien's just going to go for it. Run through the Gutenberg for a single axis. That's a Jackson Howard, and he does have 2 tags. Now, we only seen 2 pieces of meat damage in hand. I don't know if the kill is possible. He has some cards in hand.
I don't think the kill's... Okay, I guess I was wrong. That's 10 damage.
That is 6,
okay.
And there should 2 or 3 cards in hand, and that is good game.
Yeah, so, you got him, John.
John, you definitely did get him.
Okay, wow. So the kill was on the table the whole time, as it turns out.
So it's once Julien floated tags, the kill was on the table. I think he wanted to see if he could go for the game and probably didn't expect to have all that meat damage in hand, considering he spent some of it.
Yeah, you would have expected a lot of it to have gone away.
Yeah, if he had 1 card less of that meat damage combo, things would have been good.
There's one that would have been the game.
Pointer. Yeah.
Well, it would have been a partial point, whereas I think John got the full point.
Yeah, I think John technically got the full point. But Julien wanted to go for it, and I respect that instead of going for the tie. Sure. This is a game that kid at the end, and we want to see what can happen. It's
for sure.
It's fun play. But hey, that Atom worked. That is really cool.
That was a good Atom. That's an Atom I would build. That's totally an Atom I would try.
That is a playable Atom as far as I'm concerned. The Convenience Shop is a pretty strong deck, and I think it put it through its paces.
Absolutely.
Which is very interesting to see. I want to see how that works on other matchups. Dealing with Big Ice in food codes is yet to be seen.
Oh boy, I don't know.
But hey, thanks so much for watching. We have 2 more games from this series coming up real soon. Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.
Bye. No.
See ya.